Hey everyone, welcome to the Internet Capitalist Podcast with Luke Kish, where we talk about mindset, experiences, and frameworks that will help you have fun, get rich, build cool shit, and positively impact the world. I am your host, Luke Kish, and welcome to episode number 15 of the podcast, all about answering your questions. If you want to have your question answered in a future episode, just send an email to luke@lukekish.com with the subject line question. Once again, if you want to have your question answered in a future episode, just email luke@lukekish.com with the subject line question. So today's question is from Tyler T. He says, what's the best way to sell something that requires people do work? Example, you guys sell a program people need to do work on to get results. I'm transitioning to a more educational model, and I know how to ask questions with sales and figure out their goal and keep them focused on the vacation, not the flight. But at the same time, I want to set expectations the right way, and I need them buying into going through the program, doing the work. Any tips on this? I know it's specific. Great question, Tyler. So first off, I would say, don't overthink it too much. If you are selling a transformation and what you're selling gets the transformation, then, keep your focus there. And if you sell the transformation well enough, people will dig in, people will do the work. So, you need to challenge people into doing the work sometimes by being confident enough in the value of what you're selling and then conveying that through conveying that through every component of how you're selling them, whether you're face-to-face, over the phone, Zoom, that should come through from you to them abundantly if they actually have the problem that whatever it is you sell solves. Number one. So if it does that, don't overthink it. Focus more on making the sale well, right? So if you sell the thing very well, you understand the value of it very well, and you have the perception and the perspective in your own mind clearly enough and can articulate that and share that and show that to your prospect over the phone with them inside of like the vision, right? So you show them the perspective and how it's helping them, and you have that clear. If that's clearly conveyed, people are going to do the work. And then at the end of the day, some will, some won't end up doing the work. But, all you can do is what you can do. You can never control what other people are doing. You can just improve the likelihood that they do it. So I always tell my salespeople, people who get really good results, you can track all the way back to how they were sold. People who were sold very cleanly, very well, very, at a high frame, right? Like not like, oh, let me drag this person across because we have a money back guarantee and like put them on the cheapest plan possible just to get them in the door. But more so like, hey man, like we are so up here on getting you whatever this result is. How amazing is this? Like you want this, you just said you had this problem, we solved this problem. Are you ready to go? And getting them like fully bought in off the get, those initial conditions set up the whole thing, right? And if you can emotionally shift somebody and get them through like a limiting belief, change their perspective, open their mind, whatever it may be, then the likelihood of them digging into whatever it is that you have and actually doing it, will be higher. So that's number one. Focus on selling it well and don't overthink it. Number two is what was I just gonna say? Number one, selling it well. Number two, I would say, I'm having a brain fart. I just had number two. Oh, number two is challenge them out of it, right? So if you have a thing that people need to do, challenge them out of it in the sale. So it's like if someone's like not ready to do any work, dude, I don't think you're ready for this, to be honest. Like, you're here on the phone, you want this, like you say you want this result, but like, just buying my program isn't going to get you the result. You're actually going to have to follow it. Like, you're actually going to have to go through the whole thing with intent. And it just doesn't sound like that's where you're at right now. So I don't think it's a good fit. I don't want someone coming into my program that's not going to take advantage of it, get poor results, want a refund, and bring down the level of the community. So like, before you do this, if you do this, I need to know that you're prepared to do this. This will require work on your behalf. So if you just bring it up to people, I think that's a nice way to go about it. It's very transparent. It's very like, here, you can opt out, dude. Like, you can not do this. And I also think that really, sets your stature, right? Like, sets your positioning in like a more powerful place, where you're like, look, man, I don't fucking care if you do this. It's like, you obviously want somebody to do it, but like, hey, if you're going to come in, you're not going to do shit. We don't want you, dude. I don't want you to give me money and not fucking use it, not get the value. I don't want you to ask for a refund. I don't want you to be unsatisfied, and I don't want to be unsatisfied with you. So like, are you ready to actually do this thing? Or, are you just looking for like a way to avoid, I don't know what it is, but point is, you want to challenge the person out and bring it up to them. Like, we have two things. We have a self-serve thing called Blueprint, and we have more of a coaching thing, which is like, someone's going to hold your hand. And if we're selling the Blueprint, I instruct the sales team, like, hey, like, you should sell people out of the Blueprint. Like, you should challenge them out of it. Like, hey, like, you want this result. We have this whole coaching staff, that can like work with you and really help you get the result. If you want to do this self-serve thing, like, are you really the type of person that has the, personal accountability and has the discipline to stick themselves to something? And we often will have people that are like, oh yeah, you know what, you're right. I should probably have someone who is really helping me more closely. Or you'll have like, someone who's a total overachiever, fucking like ultra marathon runner, just needs to get her nutrition down at a higher level. She's like, no, I'm just going to go through this. I really want this. And all indicators lead to, okay, this person's not full of shit. She's actually going to use it. So you just have to field for it, bring it up, challenge out, and then sell in right at the same time. So like, sell it fully and then challenge out if it's not the right fit. And then obviously number 3 is, selling the implementation is where a lot of the value comes from now, because information is available for everybody. Like, everyone in the world can find any information on how to do anything on the internet, literally, that there is. And what people are buying when they're buying from you is the organization of that information, or the streamlined deliverability of the information that makes it very easy to be implemented and acted upon. The implementation and the acting upon is what gives a lot of value to a lot of these like courses, coachings, and program type of things. So number 3 is obviously, have you optimized fully for the implementation of the information that you have? Is it streamlined? Is there no excess? Is it exactly what people are buying it for? Like, does it solve exactly what people are buying for? And really nothing more, nothing less. I think that's key there. Is there like really nice continuity of thought going through the whole thing? Are there legs and arms of whatever you're delivering that does assist people in the implementation, that does help them as much as possible? We have all kinds of things in ours where, yes, it's self-serve, but, we tee it up. Like, we tee it up for you. We have all sorts. We have onboarding teams. We have people who call our customers, make sure everything's going okay. We have people who, we have forms that get filled out, and people who send, I recommend you begin here. This is why. We have coaching calls. We have a whole community. So are you, we have gifts. We have little things inside of the program that stoke the activity that we're looking for, with reward and with achievements and gamification. So are you also optimizing the implementation around whatever it is that your service is? That's number 3. So number 1, sell it well. Number 2, and don't overthink it. Number 2, challenge the wrong people out of it. And then number 3, optimize the implementation of whatever the thing that you're offering is. Make sure you max out and do what you can to improve the likelihood that the person's going to implement, and making it easier to implement for the person, because that is a lot of what makes these things valuable. So Tyler T, hope it helped. And guys, anyone listening, if you want to have your question answered in a future episode, just send an email to luke@lukekish.com with the subject line question, and I will be answering the questions as they come in. So thank you guys so much for listening. Internet Capitalist Podcast. Today was all about answering your questions. And once again, if you want your question answered on a future episode, email luke@lukekish.com with the subject line question, and we will get it up there. Appreciate you guys. Love you guys. Have a great day. Subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for the next episode. Thanks. Bye.